property damage.
Hey everybody, you got me? I think we're good to go. Whoops. Okay. All right, just moving things around here. That cell in Vernon Parish is starting to look a little suspect. So that's what has prompted me coming back onto the screen here. So let me show you what I'm seeing here. And so obviously there's a hook. So that's the first thing I notice as I'm kind of sitting here. This is right near Anacoco. This is going to be east of 171, this area that I'm really watching here, 171 and Highway 111, Massey Road, Cold Springs Loop, Lee Road. You can see there is that inflow coming in right there. New severe thunderstorm warning, so that's good. They have not gone tornado warning. But let's take a look at the velocity data here. It's storm relative. And what I'm seeing, I've seen an uptick in the rotation here. And I'm seeing a better radar presentation, but the good news is here that they did not go tornado warned on that. Let me read you the text on this warning here. I'm just going to pull it up here. It'll be easy. Actually, it'll be easier to do this. It is tornado possible. I do see that. So a severe thunderstorm located over Anacoco, moving southeast at 35 miles per hour, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and penny-sized hail are possible. This thing, I think, is really going to be packing some wind. So this is the area we're watching up to the near where 171 and 111, just east of that on 111, near where those come together, again, up toward Massey Road, Cold Springs Loop, Lee Road, that area. If you are in that area, you're going to want to watch this. If you're along Highway 117, north of Leesville, this is going to be crossing over your area soon enough. So areas impacted by this one: Anacoco, Slagle, Fort Polk, LeCamp, Kurthwood, and Simpson. And there is that tornado watch that continues until 10. I think it'll... Once this line here clears, I think that's going to go away. So big picture view. We don't have the tornado warning, so let's go ahead and do a big picture view, see what we've got going on here. Again, these storms are not forming that line. They are staying fairly isolated. So if you are looking for any sort of silver lining, it's that this is going to move through quickly. We're going to see these storms exit the area by about 8 o'clock. I know the tornado watch goes until 10, but this is going to be a fairly quick hit for most of us here. So this storm right now, it's going to stay west of you or south of you. I know that warning goes out through Simpson. I think this storm is most likely going to continue that kind of southeastward path. I'm going to make sure the Leesville camera is pointing in the right direction. It is, but I'm not seeing anything yet. But that camera is located right down about in this area, kind of near Billy Goat Hill. So we're going to have to point that northeast, actually. So I am going to do that. It's going to kind of be going through the, no, actually it won't. So, all right, let me just put it in the right spot, and then if you'd like to look at it while I'm doing this. I don't see anything worth really looking at right now, but I'm going to move it to where hopefully if something happens, hopefully we don't see anything, yes, of course. But if there is something, hopefully we will be able to show you that here on that camera. All right, it's pointed in the right direction now as much as it can be. I'm going to move it a little bit. No, I'm not. I think it gets angry when I try to move it multiple times. So now I'm going back through the tower. Okay. That's going to be good enough. That is perfect. Okay, so so that storm continues to exhibit some rotation, possibly extending into the low levels, but right now I'm not seeing anything that would warrant a tornado warning, but it is an impressive-looking supercell right there. Looks like it's pulsing up right now, and plenty of lightning involved with this one as well. It's a very small storm. I mean, from Anacoco to Simpson, Anacoco, you're out of it for the most part. Simpson, you're going to kind of catch just that forward flank where you're just going to see some rain falling out of this one. Big storms again moving into Sabine Parish and then western and southern Vernon Parish later on. That other cell that initially looked like it may end up in Beauregard Parish has really dove to the south, and that's going to stay west of our area, so some good news there. Beauregard Parish, in fact, the way it's looking right now, you may come out of this thing totally clean because these cells have not really jumped up in intensity, and the cells further to your north, as I say that, I realize this one's kind of diving toward the southeast right now as well, so let's not clear anyone yet, but we'll watch that cell for you. And then this severe thunderstorm warning continues until, I forgot what time it was, 6:15 for Vernon Parish. So that is what we're looking at now. I am going to look at the chat with the NWS and see if anyone's saying anything crazy. Scattered, this is just a new mesoscale discussion, and so in meteorology you have microscale, which is really tiny, you have synoptic, which is huge, big low pressure systems, things like that, and you have mesoscale, which is kind of about the size of a tornado watch, and that's what this is. It's a discussion for an area that is covered in this watch. So scattered storms posing a risk for severe hail and potential to produce a tornado or two will remain possible until 7 or 8 p.m., and then it will diminish in intensity. So that's what we've been saying. And that's good news. So we're hopefully going to see these go away fairly quickly. As the sun sets, we lose a little instability, and hopefully that will be the case. But I have the camera trained on that cell that is now in north-central parts of Vernon Parish. And again, it cycled up, that outflow kind of back to the west of it. And so it didn't look like it was still getting inflow coming in that southeast side. But now it looks like that outflow may be jumping out again. So let me see on velocity what we're looking at. I don't see any sort of clear rotational signature, though that is a little curious. Make sure nothing's underneath. Let me see how that lines up with reflectivity. That's an area I'm going to watch there near 117. Again, there is a tornado possible tag on this thing, so you're going to want to be careful if you are up there along 117 between Kurthwood and Leesville. Streets involved, streets where the worst of this would be possible, out toward Lease Road, Calcasieu Loop. Let's see what we have. Coon Hunter Road, Silver Creek Road, Tank Trail Road. You know you're in Louisiana when you got Coon Hunter Road. And that's the area where we're watching right now. Yeah, they're going to be trimming that tornado warning back from the west. So that's, again, it's going to be a quick hit. This one is warned here out west, so Leesville, if you missed this, we're going to be watching how this one tracks. If it dives more to the south, then it's going to be a Beauregard Parish thing. If it continues on more toward the south or east-southeast, then it would be more of a Vernon Parish issue. This storm right here, if we get hit with anything in Alexandria, I think it's going to be this one over Sabine Parish, which so far has been pretty well behaved. So one severe thunderstorm warning in our area, significant weather outlook up here in northern Natchitoches into northern Wynn Parish, and then we have this storm up in DeSoto Parish, and that's this one. Then we have Sabine Parish, special weather statement, not a severe thunderstorm warning, and then we have this severe thunderstorm warning for Sabine County, Texas, and other warnings down to the south that will be moving in toward Lake Charles, perhaps Cameron Parish. So they did remove a lot of counties from the tornado watch, and Shreveport-Bossier, you're out of that now as well. So the tornado watch is shrinking up. I don't think they're going to add a downstream watch because, again, this goes until 10. Like we've been saying, 7 or 8 o'clock is when we think this is going to start to weaken on us. Let me go over. The Alexandria camera looks, it's going to be far off. I think it's just probably just kind of dark and scary. Yeah, I'm going to move this a little bit. You can see that above my head. That's what I was looking at. So I just wanted to see, so I didn't want to pull it full just yet, but I am going to just adjust it a little bit, right? No? Okay. You'll see it spinning momentarily. That back toward the west. Okay, so that camera is now set for any cells coming in from the northwest, and I'm just watching the other ones. But we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Vernon Parish. That goes until 6:15 p.m. That storm is possibly producing hail up to penny-sized. This is crossing Highway 117 now. This is going to be moving down towards Slagle, Mayo, Hicks. Perhaps you're going to get hit by this one. I think it's going to stay further west of Simpson. And you can see that the westerly shear, it's blowing that top off. This is the top of the storm we're seeing out here. That's just some light rain falling out of that. It's out all the way toward Wilda and Clifton, Comrade, Mora, those areas seeing some sprinkles. This is the heart of that storm right there that's going to move right over Slagle here in the next 10 minutes or so. I think Slagle, Hicks, and out toward East Leesville, that area, that's where we're going to see this storm creating the most problems. Right now does not look like it is imminently tornadic or anything like that, but I am going to take a look at radar scope here, just see what's going on. Let me see. Yeah, I like to, again, I like to have my bearing stuff, and I like to have my radar scope stuff. I like to keep it all in front of me so I can make sure I'm not missing a thing. I don't see any sort of clear-cut rotational signature, but there is at least some evidence of rotation, and we're real close to the radar site, so that means we could see something spin up fairly quickly, so that's why we're kind of keeping an eye on this one. It did start to pulse up a bit more there over the last 10-15 minutes. And that's going to continue across parts of northern Vernon Parish. Let me go to the comments, see if I have any sort of reports or anything like that. Got that one, okay. Your daughter just took a pic of it in Anacoco by 171. The one in Sabine County is pretty, it's rough. It's not, it doesn't have the same rotation as this one does. Woodworth, you're good for now. I think that storm over Vernon's going to stay probably to your southwest, but I do think we are going to get a quick hit. What I would say is if you're in the process of kids getting picked up or you're leaving an evening event or something like that, if you're indoors, let the storms pass. It's not going to last that long, and then once they pass by, you're good to go. Alexandria is going to probably get the worst of this in about an hour, hour and a half. And that might not be that bad. Send a picture from a friend. Okay, let me see. It's not even here and you have no electricity. Okay, yeah, no electricity on LA 457. That's why the LeCount camera's down. My whole family down there, no electricity. I don't know what happened. Let me see that picture. I'm going to... Okay. Oh, wow. Let me go... Let's see if I can find that on Facebook and share it. I don't know if they have a private profile or something like that. That was near Anacoco. So let me see. Okay. Maybe, let me see. No, looks like it's not public. Okay, but that was a pretty interesting picture, I will say that. I can't share it because I don't have the rights to it and all that good stuff. But yeah, that was, I guess, out near Anacoco, and it looked pretty pretty interesting on that. Pulling this back up. Okay, yeah, sun shining, no electricity. It's crazy. I don't get it. Thank you, Jennifer, though. I appreciate that. That there's definitely a creepy looking cell right there. It's entirely possible. I'm not seeing the base of it. I'm not seeing if that's on the ground or anything like that. But there's definitely a lowering that I'm seeing from that cell that is now moving near Anacoco and just west of Simpson. That is this severe storm right here. All right, so... Let me go and check the velocity on this thing, make sure it is staying behaved. Yep, nothing. I mean, when we're this close, I mean, I'm, let's see, how far up am I in this thing? 450, 500 feet. So we're going to be seeing something if it's actually happening or on the ground. And you can see there is some rotation here. So there is a broad-based rotation right there that's near that radar site, but it's going to be tough also to see if it's on the ground through the debris tracker as you get that close to the radar. But that area, again, near 117 west of Slagle, that's what I'm watching right now as this storm continues to dive toward the southeast to impact Slagle. Perhaps it impacts North Fort Polk if you are on base near Fence Line. Let's see, Artillery Road, Dugout Road, just anywhere on that North Fort Polk area, just south of 28. I think that's where they do a lot of their drills and things like that. So it's probably fairly unpopulated area. I think that's going to be further away from where the people live. Yeah, Jennifer, I got the other picture. Yeah, that other one. That's impressive though. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Hemp Hill, Texas. You're about to, well, you're in it right now. That is a severe storm that's moving out. So if you have not seen anything just yet, you're looking pretty good. These cells out here are not looking nearly as impressive as this one that has more of an untapped environment out ahead of it. So this cell right here, that's the one I'm most concerned with right now. And I am just taking a look at all the cameras, and I don't see anything worth jumping on and jumping over to right. Well, wait a second. That's kind of cool. All right, let's go ahead and do this. This is the Sabine Parish camera. This is the Manny camera, Toledo Bend, and we are looking. Let's see, that is looking. Oh, what preset did I do on this one? I think that's southeast. And you can kind of see that, you can really see the cloud motion there as this cell moves in. It's going to bring some gusty winds and pretty impressive looking sky right there. This is on the Toledo Bend camera right now, so if you want to tune into that, you can jump over to the app, put me up on the big screen on the Roku app. You can have on the Cenla weather app all these cameras. You can I don't know, if you need more of me, call my mom or something. She can tell you stories about when I was a kid. But that is a look at Toledo Bend right now. Pretty impressive looking cell. Let's take a look at that one on radar. And that is the one that is moving just past the camera site now. So this is, the camera's right around here. And that's what we're seeing, the southern end of that one. It looks like it's probably coming into a bit more stable air mass because that is an area that's obviously been worked over by this cell right here. So this cell is doing two things. So far, I'm not seeing any tornadoes out of it. And it's also disrupting the environment for these cells. You can see this thing looks really intense, has a lot of those pinks and deep reds in it. It looks a little bit softer with this cell moving through Zwally and Hemp Hill. So I think what we're seeing here is a little bit of instability disruption. That is great news, and that's why we're seeing that weaken just a little bit as it continues on toward the camera site. But it'll be a neat time lapse later, I do think. So, all right, let's go ahead. Yes, Alexandria has gotten nothing. Your guys are out training on Fort Polk? Well, hopefully hopefully this stays just east of there. If I trust anyone to know what they're doing, it's a bunch of soldiers out there, so I think they got this. Simpson, you're about to see some heavy rainfall, but the worst of that cell should stay just west of you. And yes, as I've been saying, some of you are going to see not much at all out of this because they're scattered storms. It's a broken line, and it does not mean everyone's going to see storms here. I'm going to put this in motion and see how this has looked over the last little while. But yeah, you can kind of see there's some red and green coming together there. Towards Slagle, that's the area I'm looking at where I got the image from that was interesting, I believe was near Anacoco. So you can see we did have a pulse up, and that's why I jumped on live there as that was happening. Now we have that severe thunderstorm warning in place, but this is pretty much, again, going as expected. Scattered storms in the area, not everyone's seeing this. And then as you get further east, if you're in Catahoula, Concordia, Avoyelles, St. Landry, I love you, but it's not going to be as bad out there. That's why I'm not talking about you as much. So when it is your turn, trust me, I'm going to be all over it. Let me go and see that last image there. Man, this thing has been impressive for so long, but it just has not been able to seal the deal, and that's awesome news. So is it going to hit Oakdale? Possibly, because this is one of those cells that's been diving more toward the southeast. So Plainview, Elizabeth, Oakdale, that area, that's where this thing is headed. So if you are in those areas down the line, it's possible we could, if we see any strengthening in this, we could possibly have a tornado. Let's see. Let me see. Looking at this. Yeah, so out on Fort Polk, if they are out training or whatever, and I saw that message there, again, this is where the worst of this is going to come through. You're going to have a gust of wind come through Leesville and possibly, again, North Fort Polk. So if you're in that, if they're in that area right here, south of 28, you kind of trim that warning north there. So you can see that in the last frame right there. If they are in this area out here, possibly time to go ahead and get them to safety. This storm, it's not impossible that we see something spin up out of it, so I definitely would say we want to exercise caution on that. So No, not seeing anything on that last scan that would indicate that we have, because if it's this close in, we're going to see like a red and a green dot right close to each other, and it's going to be something that is pretty evident. Now, you're not going to see it before it happens, and once it happens, again, this is something that's it's not prescribing what's going to happen, it's describing. So if it's describing what's happening now, it doesn't show me what's going to happen in 3 or 4 minutes. It's showing what's already happened because that radar scan's not exactly live. It's delayed by 30 seconds or a minute. So so this cell right here, it's going to impact a large chunk of central into eastern Vernon Parish, east of Leesville, mostly west of Simpson. Yes, you'll hear the thunder and have some heavy rainfall, but I think Hicks, you're going to get this one. Slagle, you're in the worst area right now. And then later on down the line into these areas that are Fullerton Road, Sand Hill Road, Artillery Road. Again, a lot of this I think is part of the Fort Polk base. And then down the line further, Fullerton, Westport, Union Hill, Plainview, those areas. Okay, so just to take a look at things now, Vidalia, you're good. You may see some rain later, but the worst of this is going to stay to your west. Let's put it in motion. There is our severe storm right now. The others, let's see, did we lose the warning? Yeah, we're back to special weather outlooks on those, or special weather statements. They train for this? All right. Well, again, like I said, I'm going to trust the military to know better than I do. I mean, I can tell you what's going to hopefully happen, or be reasonable at my job, but I trust that they do train for these things, and they're a lot tougher than me. I get that. Trust me. All right, so not seeing any real strong wind signatures right now on this, so that's some pretty good news, but it is close to the radar. That can get a little muddled sometimes. Leesville, you are skating in between storms right now. You are living right, but may see some rain out of these, and hopefully this is, again, taking that instability away, knocking it down enough to make these storms non-severe, because we could still use rain, even though many of us saw, 4 inches of rain out of this. All right, let me pull this up here. Again, it looks really impressive on radar. I'm looking, there's actually a couple of chasers out there, it looks like. See if I know any of them. I do not. So if you are along 28, this thing is on 28 right now. I'm going to pull up X here and see if I can, I'm going to see if this guy's streaming. Because while I cannot use their feeds, I can take a look at them and tell you what I'm seeing. Nope, no stream there. Okay. So that severe storm in Vernon Parish, definitely the most intense game in town right now. Other than that, I think we are looking a little bit better here. And I'm just going to, for my own sake, look at some... look at the updated HRRR model. That way I can see it and know what the evolution is looking like right here. Select 21Z. Okay. Yeah, I think that in the next couple of hours we're going to really see a weakening trend. Really, I can't rule out these storms becoming severe again. Whoops, these storms becoming severe. But this one right here is the main one that I'm concerned with. I just don't see I don't see the other ones looking nearly as impressive as they once did. And the BTI on this goes up to 10. It's at 2.5. That's not high. This is not showing very impressive on that, but actually with it being so close to the radar, it's possible that's making it a little wonky. At 2.5 on this, hail size less than a ½ inch most likely. Okay, so that's good news. Let me know if you are seeing hail, if you've seen any damage, anything like that. Always want to know what's going on. I am definitely nosy when it comes to this stuff. There is a decent bit of lightning with this storm, and we're seeing that concentrated over northeastern Vernon Parish. So let's put things in motion once again. I don't want to leave this storm. A lot of times I would dip out on just a single severe storm, but this one, it's kind of got that look that it could really ramp up quickly. So putting it in motion, you can see over the last hour, this has moved from up around Gandy and Florine. It's kind of taken that southeastern path toward Hicks, Simpson, and Slagle, especially Slagle. You are in that worst area right now where if we did see something develop, it would be right overhead. Not seeing anything that looks imminent, that looks like it's about to develop here, but you can see broad rotation aloft. I'm going to go to the Shreveport site, and we're seeing it there too. So This is a supercell thunderstorm that has a severe thunderstorm warning, and looks like it, again, has that tornado possible tag on it, so it's possible we will see some issues here with that. All right, let me go to the comments because I asked about damage reports, and here I am just flipping around. Thanks, Jesse. Tagged me in a friend's post from Anacoco. Let me go see if I see that tag. Because I think I have to allow those. All right. As you understand, I'm sure I have a billion notifications right now. So again, severe thunderstorm warning. I'm looking to see if I can find this tag post here. I'm just going to Google how to do this. I am just looking to do some, I'm trying to do something right now, so apologize for the little delay here. Looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning. That's for Southwest Louisiana, so that is not for us. Okay, I don't know why I am having this deficiency right now, but I will check this one more time. Okay, she said I can use it. Okay, cool. I am going to, this is from earlier. Whoops. Now I logged out of, I didn't log out, I just closed out. Okay, let me go in and grab this. Oh, I'm going to have to friend request her. The saga of being a one-man band, right? Okay. Okay, getting back to it here. I didn't see that. Okay, the reason I couldn't see that is because we weren't friends. So if you can tell her to accept my friend request, that would be lovely. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look again. I think things are looking a little better apart from this storm in Vernon Parish. I think it's going to stay a little southwest of LeCamp. Yeah, let me put it in motion for you. Now, it's possible if there's hail in this thing, you could see a little bit of that. But this also is going to be looking a little weird when it's that close to radar. You get a clear image if there's a tornado and stuff like that, but you kind of ideal positioning is maybe 10, 20 miles away from radar. And right on top of it, it's kind of crazy. It looks a little different. But you can see, I mean, this is just, so that's Lake Charles, that's Fort Polk. It's a different look. Shows me a lot of detail, but then I come in here and it's just noise fest. So Hicks, you're about to probably, if there's going to be some hail, I think you're going to see some small hail out of this. Maybe up to like penny sized. I don't think it's going to be much larger than that, just from what I'm seeing right now. So let me... yeah, Jennifer, if you can tell Penny to accept my friend request, then I can share that photo. It's complex, and I appreciate you for helping out with this. It was a pretty impressive looking photo. This was earlier from this cell, so I think there's going to be some pretty it's going to have an impressive look to it. And as I'm doing all this, I do want to go back and take a look. Oh yeah, Toledo Bend camera's looking great now. Looking nice and tranquil out there as that storm has moved on. I see my brother-in-law still doesn't have power. And I am going to go to the right. I'm spinning the Leesville camera to see if I can possibly see anything out of this. Let me see. No, I think I'm just seeing the little outflow band on it. No, nothing worth jumping on there. But I will face it to the northeast or east and see if we can see anything. I'm going to take a look at the Alexandria camera and see that as well. Alexandria. Yeah, Alexandria is just looking kind of standard. That's kind of cool. Okay, that's worth showing you. Let me go over and show you the Alexandria camera right now. This is kind of the distant view of that storm. That's Toledo Bend. It takes a second for this. It's going to take it a second to move. All right. But yeah, there was a pretty impressive looking. It was a pretty impressive lowering. I will say that. Now, I'm looking at this. It looks like it was a wall cloud, but you're going to see how tricky these things can be. All right, so that's the Alexandria camera looking west from town. This is about 100 feet up on the Cenla broadcasting tower. That shows you this supercell thunderstorm out over Vernon Parish right now, and this should pretty much cross right in front of the camera at a distance. That's what it looks like on that camera right now. Oh, you did? Thanks, Jennifer. I see that. All right, cool. The lightning is crazy. Where you at, Dawson? Oh, there was a nice little pop on the Alexandria camera way out there. That was cool. Barely caught it right as I was switching out of it. And I'm going to see that. I'm going to watch this because, again, I'm watching Facebook, and I'm like 10 seconds delayed on that, so I can see when things happen. I can, if I saw something cool, I can just look back over here and see it. And I think it was just one. I think I saw a bolt of lightning, and here we go. Yep. How cool. All right, so this cell right now continues to move toward the southeast. That is just south of Simpson right now. Hicks, you are in it. There is a little surge of wind right there near Hicks. I don't see any sort of tornadic circulation. Yeah, the convective inhibition is winning. So that means these storms are going to have a tougher time. As it gets darker outside, as we lose some instability, these things are going to have a tough time going. And we're seeing that on these cells out here. Let's see. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is share her... I'm going to save the photo and then share it, because this is crazy impressive stuff. This is out of, I believe this was Anacoco. So she doesn't have the settings on to where you can share it, so I'm just going to post it. I'm just making a quick post, and then you can go see it there because I can't add it in the comments. All right, I am about to post it, and then you can go look at it, and you can see why I've been like, whoa, that was kind of cool. Saw another post that was shared with me, and I don't want to go through the whole rigmarole once again, but it actually showed ground level under this, and you could see that it was above the ground. just a little bit. I mean, again, I can't say that nothing dropped out of this briefly, but this is a pretty impressive look at this, and I just shared that so you can go over and take a look. Thank you, Penny, and yeah, I got the message. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. We're out here making magic happen, folks. So, yes, thank you. Any help like that, if you ever have pictures like that and you want to send them to me in Messenger. Tell me I have permission to use them, and I would love to do that. Thank you, Jennifer, for facilitating all of that. But that picture is now up. This was near Anacoco, and it's an impressive low-hanging wall cloud. And you can see above me right now, and that's why I don't have to go to this all the time. That's the cell we're looking at on radar. I've got the camera up here for Alexandria looking to the west. Oh, Marley, that's the one you tagged me in? Okay. So here is our cell that is now right over the radar site. That's going to really make for some wonky data. And now I see this. I'm not in love with that. So this is right near the Fort Polk radar site. That looks like it's possibly a circulation. Now that's right near the radar site. And it's possible we have a developing tornado there. I am very much interested to see what I don't see anything on the debris track, but that's a pretty strong signature right there between 28 and 121. Let me get some measurements on this. So 40, 22. Is that a tornado warning just posted on the Hicks storm? Possibly. I don't see it yet in my system. But that right there, that close to radar, okay, that looks better now. Let's go take that off. Okay, so what happened here, and it's possible something briefly did touch down there. I don't know. But I'm going to put it in motion for 15 minutes. That's only going to be a few scans. But you can see as this heads down toward the southeast, and we missed that scan for some reason. I guess it's only going to show me every 5 minutes or something like that. But it briefly tightened up, and I know what I can do. It could be over the radar. That's the thing. Now, if it's over the radar, we're going to lose the radar. But as we step through, there you get that one scan between 28 and 121, and then it doesn't look as good. So it's possible something briefly happened right there between 28 and 121, south of Hicks Crossing and just northwest of LeCamp. If you're in LeCamp, I'd go ahead and seek shelter just in case. I'm going to look and see now. Actually, I can look at that on this too. Yeah, there's nothing showing me any sort of debris lofted right here, but I'm going to make sure because I don't know if this is a little more updated. I don't know. Yeah, that updated and I still didn't see anything. So that's good. Still something I want to keep an eye on. That's also a little bit further up into the main cell with that. So that would not really jive with where I would think a tornado would be. If we had one, I would think it was going to be more on this backside here. But let me go to the Lake Charles radar, which is not going to show us the low-level stuff as well, but it is going to show that broad rotation that's southwest of Hicks, west of LeCamp. You are not in on this one right now. You're not in that worst area. But back to the Polk site. Yeah, that's our main cell we're watching. You can see it above my head here, right up there. That's the one that we're looking at it from Alexandria. Not able to really see this from the Leesville site. I keep checking just in case. Whoops. Yeah, it looks very tranquil from the Alexandria site. Leesville. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to see it. I think it's kind of blocked by that radio tower. I mean, you have to have these mounted somewhere, so you're always going to have something blocking it unless somebody wants to just fly like 20 drones for me or something. So that is the severe thunderstorm warned cell right now. The rest of these cells are not looking as impressive. Let me just check velocity to make sure I'm not lying to you. No, they look a lot more linear. We're not seeing that tight kind of structure that we're seeing out of this cell that is near LeCamp and Hicks right now, right north of that Fort Polk, right, pretty much over the Fort Polk radar site. You see that circle right there? That's the radar site. That's the area that you're not going to get any radar data in, and they usually put that in areas where you're not going to have a lot of people living, but they could be out there training, and I'm sure if they are, they're having a blast right now because it's going to be pretty hectic out there in that. So let me see comments. Yeah, so yes, apart from this cell right here, I think the most likely scenario for everyone else in this area is going to be some heavy rainfall in some spots. Now, some of you, again, like I said, Beauregard Parish, as this storm looks a little weaker now, you could see some rain, but I mean, these areas down here in southwestern Beauregard Parish, you might not see much at all. So some of you are going to see some heavy rainfall. I think we'll see isolated areas see maybe an inch of rain, but most of us are going to see less than that if you're not squared up by one of these storms. So they went, yeah, they just went with a significant weather outlook on that. If this thing weakens, I'll go away and start dinner. Yeah, let's see. And once this gets off the Fort Polk site here, it's going to be a lot easier to see what's going on, but it's sitting right on top of the radar, which is making it kind of weird. Let me go, okay, that's a half hour. Yeah, it's about to pop out the other side there. So I will keep with this just in case. So if you are in LeCamp, if you're in Clifton Crossing, you're probably seeing some heavy rainfall. If you're on 28, it's about to stop. So Hicks Crossing toward Mayo, north of, or south of 28 is where most of this action is going to be. And once this thing does pop out the other side toward Athman, we'll see what it looks like then. But it looks like it is moving maybe a little bit further toward the east, and that would tell me that it's a little bit weaker right now. And behind it, these storms right here, these are strong, not severe. They're producing a decent bit of lightning. Let me see on the lightning. Probably see a weakening trend. Yeah, we are really with this one up in Sabine and Natchitoches Parish. That is weakening right now. Looks like that trend is weakening. Looks like these might be weakening a little bit before I thought they would. So that's some good news as well. Now, if you're out here, we're not going to see this tornado watch expanded or extended. I think we'll see it go away before 10 o'clock, and I think these storms are going to clear our area by about 8 o'clock. I would say the severe threat's going to clear. It could still be raining in southeastern parts of the area, but that's about it. But yeah, so if you're anywhere outside of that warning, your chances for severe weather are dropping very quickly. And yes, as it gets dark, the chance is going to get lesser and lesser. And these red blobs, when you see the red, that doesn't mean, that means heavy rain. So I'm looking more at the wind structure of these things like that. I'm looking to see if we get some reds and greens coming together. We don't see that at all in these storms. Very linear look to that wind gust. It's just kind of a wall of 30, 40 mile per hour winds. This one here is a little more interesting because it's close to radar, and I think in the next scan we'll know a lot more about this storm. We'll see how it's kind of shaped as it comes off the eastern side of the radar. But let's see, I got a Cenla weather update. Maybe lightning's close. Yep, that was it. That was this little guy out here. So again, this is the top of the storm moving down from the west. So that upper level flow to the west, or from the west to the east, that's pushing that top off, and you can get lightning out of the top of the storm. So you're not seeing heavy rain out here, but you just had this crazy loud thunder on Mayo Road near Twin Bridges Road out here southwest of Alexandria, and you're like, wait a second, I haven't heard much thunder yet, and it was just this bolt from the blue out of the top of the storm. That's why we have to be very careful with lightning, and I'm interested to see this next scan because it still looks like this storm is going through some pretty interesting cycles right here. That's why I'm sticking with it for now. And when I'm looking in on this really close range stuff, I don't see anything that's arguing for this being on the ground or anything like that. So there was that one scan that looked kind of scary, but things are now looking a little bit better. And then this will be off the radar, and we will hopefully know a lot more. Will it get bad in Sulphur? You just had a tornado down in Sulphur a few days ago. No, I think it's going to stay mostly west of you. Maybe a little rain, maybe some thunder and lightning, stuff like that. But these storms, let me put it in motion over the last hour, and let's see, and let's get this guy out of here, because I don't want that one to contaminate the drama of this. But we're going to go back an hour, I'm going to put it in motion, I'm going to put the lightning counter on. So now we're at 110. Yeah, we were at 1,000 lightning strikes. And let's include it and see what happens with this then. Even with that, even with these more robust storms down here, we went from over 1,000 to now about 400 lightning strikes. That is a good sign. We are seeing these storms weakening right now. So no imminent threat of a tornado, but I do want to keep an eye on this one. because as it comes off the radar, we're going to get a better look at it. Let me go ahead and let's see. Severe with, okay, they're going to continue the warning with it being so close to radar and having that hook feature. It's not clear enough to be comfortable in dropping the severe. Yeah. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to continue this severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. So we'll see another orange box pop out here in just a second. I'm going to go look at the Leesville camera, which we're not seeing anything. It's too far away now. Come on. Okay. There's the new warning. I will read the data for that one. And yes, I see it includes Woodworth. I think it's going to stay just south of you. But again, with this storm being a little weaker, it's possible that, you know, if you're in the warning, you want to pay attention to this one. Should stay south of Alexandria. So good news for us here in town. These storms back here are not looking any stronger. They're continuing to weaken. They could come through as reasonably strong storms, but I don't see any big threat there. Okay, 1 second, and I'll get you the data on this one. Okay. And, you know, I said impressive looking wall cloud on that. I'm going to get a lot of people saying that's a tornado. You can't see it through the trees. We don't know. I've seen some other pictures where it looks like it was above the ground. Haven't heard the damage reports coming in, so I've got to use all the evidence I have. But yes, it does look quite scary. I do see that. And I'll explain all that stuff later. For now, we cover the current ongoing threat, which is this severe thunderstorm warning that is over parts of Vernon and parts of Rapides Parish. Okay, so this thunderstorm right now, latest update, severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Rapides Parish, northeastern Vernon Parish until 6:45. That's a half an hour down the road. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail are possible. This is located over Leander. They're 7 miles west of Heinston, moving southeast at 40. Locations impacted, and this doesn't mean you're going to see a direct impact, but the possible impact in that polygon is going to be Glenmora, Heinston, LeCamp, Leander, Seeper, Elmer, Calcasieu, Woodworth, Forest Hill, Simpson, McNary, and Union Hill. So those areas possibly in this warning, and you could possibly see some issues with this storm as it continues on toward the southeast at a rapid 40 miles per hour. There is still that tornado possible tag on this. I don't foresee this being a massive hail producer or anything like that. Let me go ahead and take a look at the latest scan now that it looks like it's mostly off the radar. I'm going to pause it and take a look at velocity. Yeah, I don't see anything there that would make me think that this is a likely tornado or anything right now, which they're not saying. Nobody's saying that. It's just so you know. I just didn't know when it popped out of this radar with that most interesting part of the storm and that cone of silence there. I didn't know exactly what we were going to see. Poland and Echo, again, anywhere, if you're not in this warning, I don't think you're probably going to see a warning. This one, if it continues, because it's out ahead in that more undisturbed air mass, possibly you could see a warning then. But I think after this one goes away, things are looking much better out to the west. I'll put it in motion for you, and I'm going to take everything off for a minute. Just do good old radar for the last, let's go 2 hours and see what it looks like, how it's changed, how these storms have evolved. And there it is. I mean, even this storm had a ton of lightning in it earlier, and you can see that kind of trailing off. So that's a good sign right there. When we see lightning numbers dropping from over 1,000, I mean, we're up above 1,500. Now we're down to 800. Again, we're including these storms down here. If I move it up this far north to only include our area, look at that drop off, 206, 201. The trend is definitely, decidedly downward from near 1,000 down to about 200. So if you are just look at the radar, see if you got a red blob moving towards you. If you do, you're going to see some brief heavy rainfall. The only place where we have an active warning is, if I'm not mentioning you, trust me, you are looking pretty good right now. So I'll pull up the watches and warnings once again, and this is the one warning we have, a severe thunderstorm warning for east central Vernon Parish and a good chunk of southwestern Rapides Parish. And I really just want to see this thing come off of the radar When it's fully out there, if I'm not seeing anything that looks imminently dangerous, and of course a severe thunderstorm is dangerous, but I'm talking tornadic, if we're just seeing kind of a garden variety, maybe you get some wind gusts out of this. I haven't seen a lot of damage being reported so far, so that's great news, and that would hopefully lend itself to mean that we aren't going to see any out of this one. Let me pull the reflectivity back up. Yeah, everything else is just going with special weather statements right now. And special weather statements are for sub-severe thunderstorms that could see, 40, 50 mile per hour winds, something like that. And that above my head there, right up here, that's the Alexandria camera. That's a distant view of that storm that looks like it's becoming a little less impressive even on that camera. I mean, look at this. I mean, when I zoom in here, 5 strikes of lightning. That's, hey, we had that event November 5th of 2018. We had crazy tornadoes with like 2 lightning strikes in a storm. So it doesn't mean you can't see it. But given the profiles today and how things are set up, I'd be looking for more lightning than that in a tornadic storm. You get the wind, Randall. Where are you at again? Are you in LeCamp or Leander? I forgot exactly where you're at. I try to remember some of this stuff from my more frequent commenters. It does help to know these things. Girl, I'm right here. I've been watching it work. I like the comments. This is what I love. I love the social media aspect of this. People are like, why do you do it on Facebook and all that? It's like, because I like seeing the comments. I like talking to you. I don't... I don't mind anybody be. I love it. I only request people be nice. That's it. Just civil. And if you're that, you're good. You're uncivil and you're just coming at people being weird. Block. You done. All right. So it looks like maybe a little small hail down there near Athman, Cora, that area. It's generally going to be south of 28 now. In fact, all the way south of 28. So if you're in this warning, they started this a little while ago. Simpson and Hicks, you're clear. You're good. So heavy rain in Leander and some wind. Thankfully, nothing terrible. Good to see it. Good to see that stuff. This is what we want. I know today, I started the day, on my early live stream talking about tornado potential and all that. I don't root for this stuff. I'm here to report it. I'm all those things, but it's not like I obviously, any decent human's not going to want to see this destruction or anything. I just thought it was one of those days where it was going to be a little bit more active than I thought yesterday. So I changed the messaging on it, and I'm glad I did because we did have at least one confirmed tornado in Texas, and we've seen some severe stuff around here. So that's what we are kind of seeing right now. Yeah, Leander, it probably just some thunder, lightning. I can't rule out something happening, but I think the tornado threat is really dropping off right now. And once it gets dark, which it's doing right now, we're going to see that instability drop, and things are going to gradually improve. Actually, pretty quickly improve, I guess I should say. And behind this, so Manny, you're good. You're out of it. Manny, most of Sabine Parish, you're out of the threat. Most of us are out of the higher threat. But Sabine Parish, you're looking much better right now. And then behind this, we get a cold front. Let me do something here. And I'm going to pull up the HRRR wind map. That's the Alexandria. While I'm doing this, you can take a look at that. Let's take a look at... So I'm going to show you the latest wind gusts for the next 15 hours. Now, if you had a tree come down today, you got limbs down, you're going to call Mountain Man Tree Service, please. We need these sponsors to stick around. I love doing this. 318-277-7830. Give Cole a call. His team will get out there. They will come out at like 2 in the morning. It doesn't, whatever. Don't just call him at 2 in the morning and bother him. But if a tree falls on your house, go ahead. All right, let's go ahead and put this into motion. They have all the toys and tools to take care of any job. I have seen the stuff. It's crazy. So the real thrust of this front is going to come through about 10 or 11 tonight. You're going to be asleep, and you're going to hear the wind chimes start chiming and all that stuff. It's not severe weather. It's just going to be gusty winds, possibly up to 40 miles per hour. And as we continue on into tomorrow, it looks like we're going to see more of the same, 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts, and then it stops at that point. But look at that. With that secondary surge, that's when the real cool stuff comes in. 44 mile per hour wind gusts with temperatures in the 40s. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio that the wind chill is going to drop by 44 degrees or with that kind of wind. But we are going to see wind chills perhaps in the 30s tomorrow morning with these gusty winds and this Arctic front coming into the area. And I'm going to go ahead and call it an Arctic front. I don't even care at this point. It's going to be windy, it's going to be chilly, and there's going to be no severe threat. Unfortunately, we have had to add some more rain chances this weekend. And I don't know why I say unfortunately. I know some of you need the rain. So that's what we have going on there. Has anyone? I have not seen Gloria in here yet. Well, thank you, Miss Carolyn. Good to see you here. I hope you're doing well. I have not seen Miss Gloria show up, but you know she's out there. Here is your latest radar. There's your severe thunderstorm warning on a cell that's not looking nearly as impressive. Let me take a look at velocity. That's some contamination there. I don't believe that is, yeah, because that's, see, so there's your reflectivity. I'm going to go ahead and just show you. Okay, so this is showing up here. I'm going to try to circle it before it goes away. Okay, there's that. I go to reflectivity. It's middle of nowhere. It looks kind of scary if it's like you're just looking at your radar and you see that, and you're an amateur and you're just learning this stuff. You're like, oh my gosh, that looks terrible, because you see this and it's red and green coming together, but then you realize it's totally detached from the storm. That is just a little radar contamination, and we are not worried about that. So with that said, I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Now, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be watching. I would love to, you know, I feel like I'm just saying the same thing at this point, but I am watching these cells up here. They're still strong enough to maybe knock over a trash can or something like that, but we don't need to go live and do that. But I like hanging out with you guys. So thanks, Butch. I appreciate it. I tried to do a good job. Try to make you all proud. I'm just glad it's so cool, because I go home, and now you know, when I come here, I'm like, oh, I'm going home. I've lived here 23 years, man. This is home now. So thanks for taking me in. And if I see you again, I'll be a little surprised, but it's possible we get another warning. But thank you for being great. Thank you to the commenters for being civil and awesome, and no one fussing at me or anything like that. And if need be, I'll see you live, but I think we are done for this evening, and I will see you later.
No matter the weather, Alexandria Emergency Hospital is always here for you.